Why does this video only have 66,000 views?
Oh my god, what am I doing?
Hi, welcome to Just Thinking Out Loud. My name is Desi-Rae. I have been freaking out lately because I recently watched 3 different documentaries on the phenomena of UFOs, unidentified flying objects, or aliens, or contacts, or people in government, very reputable people admitting that there's something going on that they can't talk about, and also pairing that with the fact that many people have been talking about this for a really long time and they've just been called crazy. But now this video that's titled Luis Elizondo Presents the History of AATP is out, and it was released last year in August. That's a long time ago, and it only has 67,000 views. It's riddled with a lot of euphemisms, and I must say that the revelation of one thing being true doesn't mean that everything else is true. So the fact that they're actually admitting that there are unidentified flying objects, except they have a different name for it now. I don't even know if other people have talked about this before, probably, but I'm just finding out about it. The fact that they're saying that those exist does not necessarily mean that all the other things and theories that people have come up with are true, but the way he presents the information does make it seem as if you could sort of deduce a certain conclusion. And there's a reason why they're releasing this information is because they're trying to collect more data, and by letting the public know that it's okay to talk about it and discuss about it and share it with people, they're trying to gather data. Of course, that's only a little bit of information revealed for the purpose of gathering that data, so there's probably more going on that you just have to figure out on your own. And this guy, Luis Elizondo, he used to work for the Department of Defense, and then he resigned and started this other program called To the Stars Academy of Arts and Science. And I have been hearing about aliens and contacts with the Earth since pretty much since the internet was around. I personally wrote it off. Not that aliens could not exist, but what people were talking about. I was like, well, I can't listen to what anybody's saying, even though I think logically we can't be the only ones in the universe. This is crazy because it brings up questions of theology, like, if we're not the center of the universe, then how can we put, say, God, for example, in our image as human beings? Of course, you don't need something like the truth of this information to come out in order to think that that doesn't make any sense, because there are many other beings on Earth and there's a big, wide, vast universe. We still haven't explored all of our oceans yet, so you don't need that. But just someone talking about this, and I'm still like, why does it only have 66,000 views, and why haven't I heard about it before? You know, because I guess because every time I saw a headline about aliens, I figured that it wasn't something I needed to pay attention to. But this is out there, and they no longer call objects that are moving at ridiculous speeds, cannot be man-made, unidentified flying objects. They're calling them unidentified aerial phenomena. I think it's probably to detach the term from the stigma of UFO. The other 2 documentaries that I watched, one of them was by Stephen Greer. It's on Netflix, and he's in charge of the Disclosure Project. And you could say that this is a very soft, just over time disclosure. And the fact that these documentaries are on Netflix says a lot. Of course, each person presenting their information, it's subjective. So I know that some of what this Greer guy presented in his documentary that I recommend that you go watch has been discredited, but not all of it has been. And especially the fact that there are so many government officials talking about it, about money being funneled towards these programs, and that it can't necessarily be talked about. There's a whole side of it about the intelligence community, intelligence agencies, about how they have more power than the actual elected officials of the United States. And of course, when you're thinking about the United States, with most of these topics, it's not specific to the United States, but the US does impact the globe. There's a lot going on, and I'm pretty excited about it. My brain just couldn't handle it, and this was after the 3rd thing, because I watched the documentaries first. The other one was about Robert Lazar, who I'd also never heard about because I didn't grow up in the US. In 1989, he popularized theories about flying saucers and him working on reverse engineering alien spacecraft, and it made sense what he was saying. The Robert Gurr stuff made a bit less sense because of he was talking about some 0 point technology thing that I feel like, if you're gonna say these things, just say it little by little and be more like this Luis guy who was very technical about it, because it's much easier for your brain to absorb. How can I go to sleep at night thinking about this? So I watched the Greer one first, and it was really all the government officials saying things that made me kind of take it seriously. And then I watched the Bob Lazar one, and I heard about him talking about element 115, and I'm trying to bring up this subjectivity issue because you can't discount everything altogether. You can say that maybe some people had some parts wrong, but doesn't it say a lot about how people who spoke about these topics were called crazy in some way? And there's a lot of information, how the public is persuaded to think about a certain issue. It makes you wonder what people are saying now, whether the government is denying it when it comes out to be true later. And this happens over and over again with files that were once classified and then are unclassified. And what they come out as saying is we're working against the American people. So I tend to avoid these topics because there's too much conspiracy-ness going on around it, and conspiracies can and do turn out to be true, but I'm more interested in it now because it's becoming absolutely verifiable. Why? I don't know. This information coming out now could be part of a larger government plan that's negative in some way, but the fact of the matter is there's intelligence life out there, which many people have suspected. I'm sure we're going to anthropomorphize what this intelligence life is looking for, and most of it's probably not going to be true. I'm guessing because of, let's just place our own ideas of what's important and why they would seek to come here, like to mine stuff, for example, or to control the population onto another species. And my brain kind of just can't wrap its head around it. And I'm only saying this because there's somebody else talking about it. So you might think, what is Desi-Rae talking about? But it's there. And I'm just like, why aren't more people talking about it? What's going on here? So I would just recommend that you guys go and look into this. I'm kind of shell-shocked, to be honest. I almost can't believe it. My brain can't really handle the information. And again, I'm not even trying to extrapolate it out to more than has actually been said. It's just there's a video of military personnel seeing certain objects flying across their radar and being like, what on earth is that? Isn't that the right question? What on earth is that? We don't know. And so I guess the point is that they want media to let people know that they can talk about it now. And again, this is probably just some step in some bigger plan. But yeah, UFOs are real. Like real, as in the Department of Defense is convinced that it's from another intelligent life form out there that's for some reason coming to Earth. And it's also very likely that it's benevolent because they could just crush us. So, and they haven't. And they haven't even done it accidentally either. So they're trying not to. So yeah, that makes me feel really uncomfortable. It makes me feel really uncomfortable. Thanks for watching. Go look up on this if you don't already know. Maybe I'm late to the news. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. If you like my content, please consider donating at justthinkingoutloud.tv/donate. Have an awesome day. I will talk to you soon. Bye. Another thing to consider is that if this isn't from alien technology and it's due to an organization on Earth that has this technology, then I think that it's a crime against humanity that they're not sharing this technology with everyone. But I think it's just as plausible that it is from another life form. And it could be that maybe some organization on Earth encountered this, like the version that Bob Lazar were saying, and then developed it in secret, and now that's what's being seen. Or it could be a combination. But I think there's something going on more than just humans developed. And it could be that we don't understand it and it just looks crazy to us because, relatively speaking, depending on who you compare us to as a species, we are dumb.